Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this time to rest and reflect and hopefully rejuvenate. I know you are joining what seems like, at least where I am, a lovely sunny day, Sunday afternoon. And today we focus on the idea of grace. If you have never been here before, I will let you know how this goes. This is a come as you are. That's why the cameras are off. And you can sit, you can lay down, you can hang out in your backyard if the weather is nice. There'll be opportunities for you to write. There'll be opportunities for you to listen. Some of the ways to get the most out of this time is to follow what works for you. So if you feel like just laying there and listening to the melody of the music and that feels important for you, do that. If you feel really tired and you think I could just use a rest, then just rest. So you can follow the prompts or you cannot, but you do you. I will encourage you at certain times as to how you might be able to use this particular song. Each song will have a different way that I use in order to try to access different parts of you, of your brain, essentially, to allow you to sink deeper into the experience. Today, our focus is around grace. And for some, that might feel like something that connects to us spiritually. For some, it might just be the connection to the word itself. But allow your imagination to flow. Take that childlike quality and allow yourself to be with whatever comes up in our time together. One thing that would be valuable, and whenever we think about getting quiet and contemplative, we have very busy brains, is to set an intention. So my intention is to hold this space, but the words that I would put to that is that I would allow for space for you to experience grace. And whenever if I was on the receiving end of this, if I got distracted, then I would just come back to that with kindness, with grace, with compassion. And that can allow you to get the most out of this session together. Having a pen and paper will be helpful. The most important part is that you just allow yourself to sink in, to be as comfortable as you can allow yourself to be, so that you can really connect to that quiet part of you that maybe doesn't otherwise have a voice or isn't easily heard. And when you again feel that you're maybe ungrounded or something is unsettling or distracting, come back to that intention. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but think about what would serve you. What is the intention that you could bring to our time today? The music is quite quiet while I talk, and I can't necessarily adjust it without making things challenging on my end. So when I'm not talking, you might choose on your end to increase the volume of the music. You can decide. If you're just joining, settle into a position that feels comfortable, sitting, lying down. I like to combine the sacred and the science. So one thing that can be really regulating for us or calming for our nervous systems is to notice where we are in space. So as I read through these directions, you can think what the directions actually are: north, east, south, west. You can visually orientate yourself in the room. It's very soothing for your brain. We call it resourcing. And if at any time some emotion comes up or a memory that feels challenging to be with, it's one of the great ways that we can come back and settle in, is to notice where we are in space. Or maybe it's the words that I read. that can be helpful as well here. Whatever it is. Today, I draw your attention to the directions of the heart. We take this moment to open space, rooted not just in where you are in your physical space, but deeply into your core, coming home to yourself. We turn to the directions not just to orient ourselves in the world or in our rooms, but to orient ourselves in the directions of our heart. To the east, we call in love. We call in the flower, rose, the place of the rising sun, of beginnings, of breath. We invite in the energy of love, tender, true, and unbreakable. The kind of love that nourishes, that sees us, and that holds. Maybe we be softened by love. And to the south, we call in joy, the flower represented by the sunflower, the place of warmth, growth, and play. We invite in the spirit of joy, not the fleeting kind, not the kind that just pursues happiness, but the joy that runs deep to the core of who we are, that allows you to just own you. The joy that bubbles up even in weariness, that reminds us of who we are when we stop striving. May joy arise in unexpected places today. And to the west, we call in peace, the flower ally of lavender, the place of dusk, of endings, of the exhale. We invite in peace that is not passive, but powerful. Peace that speaks of rest, of letting go, of relinquishing, of being enough as we are. May peace be with us. And to the north, we call in grace. And we think of the flower of peony, bursting with its goodness, the place of wisdom, the unseen. We invite grace that carries us when we can't carry ourselves. Grace that gathers the broken pieces and says, even this, beloved, is worthy. Grace that brings us home to what is sacred and what is true. And may we be met by grace today and always. And may we let ourselves receive it. We call in grace in our time, opening fully, beautifully, accepting the gift. And with this circle of love, joy, peace, and grace, we open ourselves. Grace can mean many things. And you can take a definition of it that feels most resonant. I'll bring in a definition for today. And again, if you want to just let the words and the music and my voice wash over you, it's perfect. If you want to write as I talk, it's equally perfect. Grace is the quiet, unwavering presence that meets you exactly where you are, without judgment, without rush, It's the soft exhale after holding your breath for so long. It's the warmth that arrives when you least expect it. It's the invitation to loosen your grip and let yourself be held. Grace does not demand perfection. It doesn't even care. It simply asks that you show up, cracks and all. It's the gentle whisper that says you are loved no matter what. Here, in this place of nurturing, grace is our reminders that even in the mess, even in the doubt, the feelings of not being enough, you are still worthy of love. You are still worthy of being cherished. Grace says you can embrace it all. I'm going to read it again. And maybe there's a word or a phrase that stands out to you. You can either just be with that word or that phrase, or you can take some notes. Or maybe grace has more to say to you and you let that in. Grace is the quiet, unwavering presence that meets you exactly where you are, without judgment, without hurry. It's the soft exhale after holding your breath for so long. It's the warmth that arrives when you least expect it, like sunshine after a storm. It's the invitation to loosen your grip and let yourself be held. Grace doesn't demand perfection. Grace doesn't even care. It simply asks that you show up as you are, cracks and all. It's the gentle whisper, you are loved no matter what. It's grace that is our reminder that even in mess, in doubt, in the feelings of shame, that we are not enough, that you are still worthy of love, worthy of being cherished. Grace says you can embrace it all. And one more time, maybe something else comes up or something penetrates a little bit deeper. Grace is the quiet, unwavering presence that meets you exactly where you are, without judgment, without rush. It's the soft exhale after holding your breath for so long. It's the warmth that arrives when you least expect it, like sunshine after a storm. It's the invitation to loosen your grip and let yourself be held. Grace doesn't demand perfection. Grace doesn't even care. It simply asks that you show up, cracks and all. It's the gentle whisper that you are loved no matter what. Grace is our reminder that even in the mess, the doubt, the feelings that you are not enough, that you are still worthy of love, worthy of being cherished. Grace says you can embrace it all. If you want to, you can continue to consider what that has brought up for you. You can write about it if you'd like. If you want a bit of a stretch, you can write about it until the end of the song, which is about 4 minutes. That often gets a lot of thoughts flowing, can be really valuable. Or you can simply think about what place in your life is longing for more grace. Is it grace for yourself, for another, perhaps for a situation? Consider what grace you could use right now. And you can write about it. You could just sink into that. And just be with what you notice. Allow your imagination to take you to where you most need to go. Now imagine if grace was a person. Years ago, I was in therapy, and the therapist had me do what you did in the beginning. Just notice where I was in space in my room. We did some breathing techniques, and she really slowed things down so that I was able to feel what was going on underneath. And while I did experience emotions that I wasn't able to access in my everyday life, what also came to me unexpectedly was me coming to a tent in a desert. And I met a woman there that opened up the door to the tent, and she led me in, and I laid down and she held me and she poured something into my mouth. And the therapist said, "What's happening?" And I said, "I don't know. It's unexpected, but I met this woman and she's here to nurture me. I call her my desert mama. She's the place that I feel grace. That when I don't know what I need, she pours gentleness down my throat. She holds me when I ache. She feeds me when I'm hungry for things that I can't even identify." So bring to mind something that feels peaceful. Maybe it's a meadow, a forest, your bedroom, or a bathtub. And if grace was personified, allow grace to enter that space with you. Or, as in my case, allow grace to invite you in. Perhaps she has something to give you, or say to you, or wrap you up in. Maybe it's just the feeling of being loved unconditionally, and perhaps in places that there's only been darkness. Maybe there is some words that you need from grace. Ask. Ask for what you need. Perhaps there's some reassurance that you're longing for. Let grace give that to you. Know that this can always be accessed. Isn't something secret that you've encountered in this space and time. Grace is always here for you. In your mind's eye, grace gives you a flower. You notice what the flower is. And the flower is a reminder of something that's important for you. A truth that grace wants you to remember. Ask grace what grace means by the flower that you have been given. She reminds you that the flower is like you, blooming, growing, exquisitely beautiful, just as you are, with the fragrance that fills the room. The fragrance that is you, your essence, your truth. Staying in that space of grace, and if you feel like changing your position or moving yourself in your imagination to a different place, that's welcome. Anything you do here to honor yourself connects you more deeply to the truth that's longing to rise to the surface of your awareness. Perhaps there's something that you are holding. You might feel grace reminding you that you can let it go. Maybe you know what that is already. And if so, you can see what that looks like to loosen your grip a little bit. And if you're not clear, that's okay. Maybe you're not gripping onto anything. Maybe this is an opportunity to allow the music to lead you to thoughts that would be really helpful for you right now. Maybe you want to free write for the duration of this song. I'm going to read you a poem called Imagine If. Imagine if you set down what you've held tight. You loosened your grip and let some of what you carry fall to your feet. This is all you know, your bones, your muscles, your very sinew know to hold tight, carry it all. Imagine if, for one moment, you relinquished your control and let some fall. Imagine if there was something you could trust that whispers, you don't have to live this way. Imagine if there was some way to let go. Imagine if everything didn't shatter as you dropped it. Imagine if you discovered a grace stronger than you. A love was waiting that gathered up your things in loving arms. Imagine if there's a different way to let grace hold it all. Notice if there's something that you are holding tightly to, an outcome, regret, your health. See what grace says about loosening your grip. You don't have to let it go. You might even hand it over for a moment or two and see what happens if you don't hold it anymore. You might notice that it's not something you hold even. It's something that feels like it's embedded in you. Like a big sliver. It might be part of your identity, perhaps something you've taken on, you know somewhere isn't really true. Something somebody told you, or a way that you showed up in the world at some point. It no longer serves you. Let grace pull that garment off your shoulders and let it fall to the ground. You also might try to embody this in the sense that you can activate memories and different things if you actually clasp your hand very tightly and then loosen it, like you're letting something go. Do that. And if something has been brought up, this is really impactful to be embodying the letting go. Your brain and your psyche relish these moments where we give physical movements to something. Might be something you're clearing out. And even if you don't do it now, but you think, I'm letting this go, you loosen your grip and you let it go. Maybe it's a different movement. Maybe it's letting it drop from your hand and stomping it into the ground with profound resolution that you're not picking it back up. Or maybe it's something you gently place that you know isn't meant for you anymore. And you lay it down. You picture yourself letting it go in the water, perhaps, or you do that in another time and place. You bury it in the ground, or you set fire to it. Bringing to mind in this space where you try really hard in your life. Maybe it's not even physically like you work really hard or have been hustling to produce something, but it's how you show up. For me, that can show up in how I show up in relationships, trying to be the friend that reaches out, connects. It's not always reciprocated. I try to be the good girl that nobody gets mad at or is disappointed in, even though I don't like it that I have that part, but she shows up a lot. Perhaps how you show up in your family, where you try hard to be the good sister, daughter, mother. You try so hard. It's not that these places are even, in many cases, unhealthy relationships, but you feel that striving. Maybe something comes up from your past where you've tried really hard in one way or another. Acknowledging the effort, the striving, perhaps even the cost. Perhaps a memory comes to mind where you've tried hard and the effort of it all wasn't reciprocated or it ended very poorly. And you were hurt. You felt unseen. You felt overlooked, misunderstood. And if nothing comes up, that's okay too. Bathe in the grace that's here. But if a memory comes up, or a number of memories that feel connected, or something that's happening right now, acknowledge the feelings. You can name them or write them. Or acknowledge where you feel them in your body. It's important that we feel in order to heal. And those are hard places to be. Remembering that you're not alone. Grace is here with you. Whatever is coming up, allow grace to join you in this space. Let grace wash over you. Healing waters. You don't have to be done if anything came up there. You can return there at another time if that feels important. Or if that's something that you want to also let go, at least for now. Or you allow grace the responsibility to care for it in the meantime. Allow for whatever feels most resonant for you. Grounding yourself into this moment. Taking some nice, nourishing breaths, reminding your body you matter, that you are here, that you are strong, and you are healing. Taking in a nice big breath and a nice long exhale. Grabbing your pen and paper if you haven't already been writing. And now let grace write to you. Think about the most loving words that you would love to hear. And if that doesn't connect to you, think about a time in your life when you were struggling, maybe when you were little, maybe a time as an adolescent or an adult. What would you have loved to have heard? Write those words. And I'm going to challenge you a little bit. And again, you can do what you want. But if you want to take this challenge, we call it stream of consciousness writing. And write and only lift your pen to punctuate and change to the next word. And if you don't know what to write, just write that. I don't know what to write. Or in this case, maybe write your intention or the word grace. So let grace write to you the words you either long to hear or long to hear right now. We've got about 3 minutes. Beautiful opportunity to allow that truth to be written down on a page for you. Something you could start your day with or end your day with. Make it a practice. One of our best ways to keep a connection with grace is through gratitude. So you can listen to this song and just look for those spaces of grace, maybe even in this time together in your life, what you're grateful for. You can write it, you can feel it, you can envision it.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Grateful I woke up again. Woke up and took a breath again. Yahweh. Looked up and saw the sun again. I'm grateful for the eyes I have. Amen. I'm moving on my toes again. I'm grateful for the wind against my face. I'm grateful for the sensation of a loved one's embrace. I'm grateful for the lemon juice upon my lips. I'm grateful I can smile when I'm tasting it. full to the brim. Yes, I'm grateful, more than I've ever been. It's true, yeah, it's true, yeah. I'm grateful, full to the brim. Yes, I'm grateful, more than I've ever been. It's true, yeah, it's true, yeah.
As we draw our time together to an end, or maybe a new beginning, I want to end with a blessing. I want to send you all love. I want to invite you to a renewed sense of joy. I hope that peace meets you in the tender places. And I hope that grace brings you into a deeper place of healing, of wholeness, and of worthiness.